God fucking damn it. So, don't panic. There's very likely going to be another trial. Michael Slager wasn't acquitted of the murder of Walter Scott. There was a mistrial. It was a hung jury because one juror, who God knows how he made it past jury selection, refused to convict him because he was a cop. The end is apparently what I've heard. I don't know if that's just hearsay as far as I can tell right now. That's not confirmed. But apparently the juror said he wasn't going to convict him because he was a cop. This really pisses me off. There's going to be a lot of problems because of this. Even though there's almost certainly going to be another trial, let's keep that in mind. Jesus, please don't panic. Michael Slager is 80 billion percent guilty of homicide, of murder. Forget manslaughter. That was murder. Okay, that was what is he? I think it's second degree murder. Dude should have gotten 25 years straight the fuck out. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. And honestly, that was such an egregious abuse of power, and such a deliberate murder with intent to cover it up that I would have honestly hoped the guy got life. Hell, I'm not an advocate of the death penalty, but if there's a kind of person you want to see go, it's like people who kill kids and cops who do shit like that. I really don't like cops. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm not a fucking racist. I don't like fucking cops. I'm not a cop apologist. But there is such a thing as objective reality, ladies and gentlemen. Police brutality is not a racial issue. Okay, and police unjustly committing homicide is not as serious of a problem as any of the liberal fucking media is telling you, okay? Or especially the progressive media who's saying there's an epidemic of fucking cops who hunt black people for sport. It's not true. In 2015, only 24% of people killed by cops were black. Almost twice as many, 48%, were white. And given the way statistics count, where Hispanics count as white people, maybe that's a little bit different. But a lot of people are going to want to say, oh, that's an overrepresentation. Black males who are overwhelmingly the ones shot by police, but not all. So let's just go. Okay, so they'll say 13.2% of the population is black, and 24% of the people killed by police, that's overrepresentation. 52% of violent crime is committed by black males. That's 6% of the population. Blacks are overrepresented in violent crime, 6 times higher than any other race. Okay, the overwhelming amount of violent interactions between police and suspects is with black people. Okay, it's just a fact of the matter. It does not surprise me that an 8% overrepresentation of based on this skewed and utterly meaningless statistic of, well, if you adjust for population percentage, all of a sudden blacks are killed overwhelmingly more. Well, blacks are just skyrocketing past everybody in committing violent crime and in being charged with resisting arrest. So there's not evidence of racism here. And, before you come at me with well, you think black lives don't matter? Well, the number one cause of death for a black male aged 15 to 35 is being murdered by another black male aged 15 to 35. Black lives don't matter to black people, okay? So don't even come at me with that shit, okay? It's definitely not being killed by a cop. And how is there millions of black people in prison if cops just fucking kill them? You going to call the entire justice system racist, or are you going to admit that there's a crime problem? But there is. That this guy, Michael Slager, should not have had anything approaching a mistrial. Forget an acquittal. Guy should be going straight to prison. Just pow, just teleport his ass there. Just fucking I Dream of Jeannie, just blink, blink, and he's fucking there. Fuck that guy. But he's not indicative of an epidemic. He's not indicative of a fucking white supremacist, fucking patriarchal capitalist fucking bullshit. 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 Police brutality is not a racial issue. Black people are not exclusively affected by police brutality. Black people aren't even the majority of people affected by police brutality. And so many of the cases that Black Lives Matter tries to use to prove that there's some sort of issue are such obvious uses of lethal force that, or even just force in general, that it's ridiculous. For every Walter Scott, there's a Darren Brown, Michael Brown, or a fucking, where it was just like, that was all bullshit, that people were lying, that the guy fucking physically assaulted the cop, and that's where this whole epidemic came from. And now we're just in a fucking epidemic of cherry picking, where no matter how many white people or Mexicans or other Hispanic people or fucking anybody else is ever shot by a cop, does it make the news? No. According to the news, only black people get shot. And the ignorant, gullible sheep of America just chew that shit up. And why would they stop showing you black people dying in the streets? It makes them, the news media, a fuckload of money telling you what you want to hear. Okay? It's a negative feedback cycle. Get the fuck out of it. Do a little reading. It takes 5 minutes on Google to go, oh, this is bullshit. All it takes is looking up at the evidence, instead of going with the initial story that's usually pure bullshit, even if it's like has some kernel of truth in it, the conclusion is almost always wrong, and the evidence, quote unquote, used is almost always not true. If you just go back and fucking take another look at the case, a lot of the time you find out, this guy that everybody was protesting about beat the shit out of his wife, and when the EMTs showed up, he beat the shit out of the EMTs. And then when the cops showed up, he threatened the cops, and then they shot him. Oh my God, police brutality. Wrong. Fucking wrong. It's not true. I care about what's true. Do you care about what's true, or do you want to fucking jerk off? Because that's what almost all of this is, jerking off. Unfortunately, the exception is the Walter Scott murder case. And this is going to cause more riots, more protests, more hate crimes committed on white people. Fucking take the Trump stickers off your fucking car if you got them, because your shit's going to get fucked up. There's going to be a lot more violence because of this. Because that one cocksucker who should have never been on that jury. Fuck that guy. That white male who obviously did it because he's racist. You don't even know that. Maybe he comes from a long line of cops, and his bias is that he fucking can't believe cops ever do anything wrong. But no, we got to make this all about race. Got to jerk off race, race bait, 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 race bait. Thanks for watching.